Bizarre Brain Comics.
Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. Just a few weeks ago, I posted a video that I posted a video about the artist Roy Lichtenstein, and talked a little bit about the art that he swiped, the fact that he became famous and rich by copying the work of other artists, etc. And and on his background and stuff. And in doing research for that, I was trying to find books with the art that I needed to use for that. And I couldn't find them in my local libraries anymore. I used to have them, and at one time I had a book of my own that had some of that stuff in there, but I got rid of that a long time ago. And I wound up having to, I was looking on Amazon and stuff, and the copies of the books that might have had it were too expensive but I did get a couple of things here. I wound up having to go to get an interlibrary loan to get the books that I needed to do that video. But while I was on the hunt, I come across these two books and bought them, hoping that they would have what I really wanted in there. They're close but no cigar. And these books are the Roy Lichtenstein coloring book and the Roy Lichtenstein comic drawing course. And while they have some versions of the paintings that I wanted, they did not have the reproductions of the paintings. That is the color photographs, or even good black and white photographs of those images. But I thought I would share these with you a little bit. Just so you can see them. Okay, I'll start off here with this one. These books are both by Jacek Lasa. I couldn't find anything about him in particular. But he is involved in the fine art world, and he has published a lot of these books, like this, coloring books, that is. I misplaced my pen. There it is. The coloring books like this of various famous artists. Looking through there's a bunch of them, but the ones that jumped out at me were like a coloring book of Pablo Picasso and Andy Warhol and stuff like that. And of course I had the Roy Lichtenstein. And I wanted to point out, in case you didn't know who Roy Lichtenstein was, he was one of the founding artists developing the school of pop art, and all this is considered pop art. And I'll take a look at this coloring book. That's the truest reprint right there of any of these Lichtenstein paintings, with as far as the colors are concerned. Of course, the dialogue balloon is empty, and then there's some examples here. Hey, that looks kind of familiar. Ooh, what's that one? And then these along here at the side, which are not true to the colors. These were just examples of what you can reproduce. Unfortunately, let's see. It's like, I know, Brad, there it is. It's called, I don't really know how he did these. This was obviously done on computer some type, and with the color removed and just broken down to line drawings for the coloring book, which is fine. But I can't get the pages to move. There's some of his Lichtenstein's earlier stuff. Let's try to keep finding these borders. But there's so many of them. Then where the lines are the solid bold black lines are removed, and you have these other fine lines so that you can color in those solid black lines. Some lovely things, but just can't get the ones that I want. This, of course, right now. Oh yeah, and you can. But this really points out how closely he stayed to some of his original work, the original reference material, because this is obviously to anyone who knows his work, a swipe from John Romita Sr. It looks just like Mary Jane Watson, even though it's not. It's from a romance story, but Crying Girl. But what I was going to say, a problem with the coloring book is, of course, on a lot of these images, the full bleed, which makes it very difficult if you're actually going to cover them. I'm not going to, and it goes clear into the gutter where you can't get at to color these images. It's a good reference for the images in general. I had been hoping that he would have at least a color or black and white photograph on one side showing the original image, the original painting, and then going to the coloring thing. You can see compare that to the cover image, how that's broken down. It could be okay. That's one of the best ones right there, as it reproduced. Wham! And it's one of his most famous, and fine for coloring for kids or adults, and can be used. And like I said, he did it on computer, and somehow he got down to representing all the Ben-Day dots. But it's going to make it very difficult for coloring when you have to color around all those little Ben-Day dots and then color in each dot. Unless you, I don't know. But this could be good for both adults and for kids. To get a little bit of art education in the coloring. That's a nice one for the Empire State Building. And that's it for that one. Now with the comic drawing course, I was very disappointed because there's no text in it at all. Nothing to tell you. It has some here in the back. It has some page layouts. And I thought perhaps he was going to do the comics, but it's not. Here you can see. This is, of course, this isn't in the back. This is how you can do different combinations of Lichtenstein paintings in those things, but there's no text no actual instruction, but you can get a little bit of some of it here. Like on one page represents the original black and white image with the grid pattern, which is a little too large grid. Should be a little smaller, and then on a blank page with that grid pattern, so that you can, if you can reproduce just that goes in that cube, in that respective square, rectangle. But as I said, that's just for a non someone who's not a very, very skilled artist, it's going to be very difficult to faithfully reproduce what's in that original. But it can be good for just some training. And it has some blank pages here like this for your sketch. So to have different versions of that drawing, you can do the original drawing like that, or here it is broken down with the solid black lines missing, or solid blacks missing, and just representing lines so you can see the shapes, kind of like in a negative image. You can paint it, draw it, color it. That's what I'm trying to say, in a negative image, if one so desired. Another one of his most famous, and there too, bang. But as far as the instruction course, I don't see. There's another one. I can recognize the image, but I just cannot identify the artist. Could be John Romita, but I don't think so. Could even be Jack Kirby, but I don't think so. And there are, of course, various images here, but it doesn't really give you any instruction of what you're even supposed to do. I thought perhaps it was originally designed, intended to go with maybe something like an online course or something, but I looked and I couldn't find anything. So if there is one, I couldn't find it, because it looks kind of like a workbook. And it is a workbook, but it has no. That's kind of nice. You can copy. I mean, just how people learn how to draw initially, anyways, by copying other artists. And of course, this is copying of a copy of a copy. But one can learn by copying, but there's just no instruction on for what you're supposed to be doing for this. Because it is basically a workbook, but there's no course per se to go with it. But it is a good reference for a variety of Lichtenstein images. And as far as that goes, it's fine. They only cost about something like $10 each. They are print-on-demand books, so there's no major publisher involved. I don't know how he deals with the copyright regulations and stuff regarding not just these, all the artists that he has produced these kind of books on. But that's it. It's just a little something I wanted to show you. Nothing too fantastical, but just like an addendum to my previous Roy Lichtenstein video. So I do want to thank you for joining me. As I said, I got these on Amazon. They are print on demand, so they're not that expensive. They're like $10 or $11, $12, something like that. I can't remember exactly what they were. And maybe you have someone that might be interested in coloring these. So, and let me know what you think of this coloring book and this drawing course, as far as you can tell. And thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, and do leave a comment. Tell me what you think. And remember, as this proves, comics are art.